next race on the program is one that's an absolute cracker. It is called the Stars of Tomorrow. It is for riders of any C and D grade class and any category of racing machine that has passed scrutineering.
Yeah, we've got Formula Oz, Superbike, Supersport, and even Pro Twins as well, Lance, in this class.
Well, this is an opportunity for C and D grade riders against their own class or category of competitor to be able to showcase their talents, and who knows, a race team or principal rider out there may well be interested in picking them up. Getting a good start there, looked like it was Mark Nassif on board machine number 7, but he's been overtaken by a couple of the hot contenders, Tim Griffith, Con Kokoris. They're up at the front of the pack as well.
Look at the size of this field, Lance. This has to be one of the biggest fields we've seen in a long time here, with all the CD grade riders, and they're all out there having an extra race. And just remember, last year this race was dominated by Dominic De Leon, who is now a B grader and not eligible to race.
Well, officials were inundated with nominations after the mandatory meeting of riders early on in the day. Riders can come up and nominate their opportunity to race in this one. 30 competitors, none less.
Yeah, Con Kokoris leading him through for the first time over Tim Griffith. Con on his Yamaha and Tim on his Kawasaki.
Well, if you look at the mixture of riders and indeed machines, you've got the Triumph Daytona 675 of Bobby Ashman, you've got the Aprilia RSV4 of Aaron Breesy, for example, a CBR 1000 Honda of James Fruin, and so the list goes down, including a Suzuki GSX-R 600 of Nathan Brumby about midfield.
And there's about 5 or 6 R6 Supersport machines in there as well. So it's all gathering around to go through the Sydney Motorsport Park Ride Days Corporate Hill section of the circuit, down Iphone back straight. As we saw with Aaron Breeze on his Aprilia, they're leading that back section.
And again, a compliment to all of the riders for the preparation of their machines there. Having a look at a couple of the mid-pack battles there. Christian Carroll on his ZX-10R doing a good job.
Yeah, Hamish McMurray's there as well, one of the protagonists we've seen riding for a long time, always enjoying his motorcycle racing now. But here comes number 18, that is Tim Griffith up the inside of Mark Nassif through turn 1. Races World.
A very determined ride there from the Flight Doctor mounted Triumph Daytona 675 of Bobby Ashman as well. Here's a replay of the start, and that rider that I mentioned, Ashman, actually was the rider that got the whole shot there in turn 1, the Races World corner.
Yeah, Bobby Ashman on the smaller 675, so a little bit easier to get off the line maybe there compared to the bigger 1000cc machines.
But it wasn't long before the tick signs mounted Con Kokoris, as you mentioned, on his Yamaha 404, took the lead down into turn number 2, the bikebiz.com.au corner.
Yeah, so Con Kokoris out front now on his number 404 Yamaha R1 there with Tim Griffith. Mark Nassif is there as well. Jeremy Mears is up there as well as Christian Carroll on his ZX-10R.
The beauty of this sort of racing, Tim, is that on experience, if you like, C and D grade riders, and on different machines, it gives the riders an opportunity to be able to test their prowess on this circuit in preparation for the actual class of racing that they've entered here this weekend as part of the Swan Super Series.
And extra additional track times always welcome, yes. Lance, especially against riders of their own skill here in their own classes, so enough to showcase their own ability in against like-minded riders.
Bobby Ashman there just getting a little bit too wide, allowing the opportunity for that rider that was in fourth to get up into third, but it's all action aplenty at the front of the pack at the moment, with the FTR Racing Jeremy Mears on his Yamaha R1M trying to chase down the lead of the tick signs Con Kokoris on board his Yamaha.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Mears right on the back wheel now of Con Kokoris. It's gone pretty wide there. Bikebiz.com.au gives Mears a bit of a look up, but no, up and over. There comes Con Kokoris through turn number 3, getting ready to come down the bikebiz.com.au drop-off.
Here's a replay now of an incident earlier on that we mentioned there, the 19 of Bobby Ashman just being overtaken on the inside. Here's a replay again of that last corner incident down in turn 2, the bikebiz.com.au. You can see there that Kokoris he held his resolve on the outside, didn't he? He wasn't going to give up. He wanted and knew that he had the inside line through turn 3.
Yeah, very difficult part of that circuit. Multiple apexes through turn 2, bikebiz.com. Oh, who was that? That was number 19 there on his machine, out of the seat onto the dirt. Lucky to stay on that machine.
Well, in fact, Tim, we can confirm from race control that the number 19 is the FTR Racing mounted John Gabriel Lane, not, as we've been calling him, Bobby Ashman.
Yeah, and a great effort by Jean Gabriel Lane, because he actually lost it, had a crash in the first of the Superbike races today, Lance. So great effort for his team to get that bike up and running for the Stars of tomorrow. And
I guess it reconfirms what we've said about track time in these extra races as well, Tim.
Yes, it does. But the racing's definitely out in front. But here he comes again, Jean Gabriel Lane, a replay of that little mishap he had before. Big back end slide, chucks the wheel stand onto the concrete, onto the dirt, but keeps the power to the ground like a good racer does, Lance.
He's very lucky to be able to have maintained traction on that back wheel, because if he'd have slid out wider, he would have been in more trouble than what he was. But in the meantime, let's turn our attention back to the pointy end of the field as the riders negotiate Dunlop Sportsmax up towards Sydney Motorsport Park Ride Days, Corporate Hill.
Yeah, it's all Conker Chorus at the moment, isn't it, at the front? He's having a great ride leading this race from Tim Griffith, Nassif, Jean Gabriel Lane is up there as well, and Mark Nassif.
So riders negotiating that fast left-hander. Very important to be able to get the line correct, and everybody has a different approach through turn 9, especially considering the bump on the inside of the circuit that has developed over the last 12 months.
Yeah, I saw Jean Gabriel Lane take a totally different line than he had the previous lap. They're staying on the black stuff, but look at the race out in front. It's Kokoris and it's Griffith, and it's Mark Nassif as well. No, he's in third place, and number 18 is Tim Griffith, now relegated to third, but it is Jeremy Mears on his Yamaha R1M in second spot.
Yeah, doing a good job as Mears. He's been chasing the tail now for a couple of laps of Conker Chorus, and that has certainly opened up the opportunity for the rider in third place to come up and mix it up.
Big braking manoeuvre by Mears, and he can't keep it on the circuit there, Lance. Outbraked himself into bikebiz.com.au.
Well, here we see a replay of Mears being forced a little bit wide there, Tim, and unfortunately ran out of racing room, but no harm, no foul. He'll get back onto the circuit, but in the meantime, that opens up the opportunity for Tim Griffith to take up the challenge now of Conker Chorus leading the race.
Yeah, he's definitely closed down Tim Griffith on his ZX10R. Conker Chorus still leaving this race. He's had a great race so far, Chorus, hasn't he? Taking all the advantage out in front.
Well, he's certainly been soaking up all of the heat. There's been no problems for him at the moment, but you can see that coming into this latter stages with only a little over one more lap to go, the Coolman Logistics Tim Griffith mounted Kawasaki ZX10R rider is coming on in his own in the latter stages.
Here he's been able to see the lines of the riders out in front, so he'd know where he can make his pass through there, but he's right on the back tail, nearly takes the duck tail off Kokoris' R1 machine. They're losing a little bit of drive too, which is going to cost him down the end of the Swan Insurance main straight.
Yeah, you don't want to do that on the beginning of the last lap, do you? You want it to be quite up on the rear wheel of Conker Chorus, because you can maximise the opportunity of slipstreaming, as we've said many a time. But he does get a good line out of turn 1, the Races World, for a run round the outside down into bikebiz.com. You just don't do that.
That was a big move there by Tim Griffith, and as we saw the last couple of laps, Kokoris has had some trouble going through our bikebiz.com.au, and Tim Griffith has taken the advantage to be in front on the last lap of the race.
Down the bottom of bikehaggle.com.au, drop over and into the Dunlop Sportsmax turns for the last time. Tim Griffith has left his best till last, but Conker Chorus, that has led for 5 of these 6 laps, does not want to give it away.
And here's a replay of that braking manoeuvre, and how hard on the brakes was Tim Griffith on his ZX10 there. That was a great move by Tim there to go around the outside.
A superb piece of racing from a degrader. He kept that bike upright long enough to be able to tip it into bikebiz.com.au and still maintain the power that he needed. In the meantime, with only a few corners to go, out of turn 9 for the run down the iPone Oils back straight for the last time, and into Matrice Dampers. He's done a great job to leave his best till last, Tim Griffiths.
Yeah, he's going to have a drag race to the line with Conker Chorus, but have great riding there by both these riders. I don't think Con is close enough to get any slipstream advantage. Tim Griffiths has ridden the perfect race there, Lance, to overtake on the last lap. It looks like he's going to take the victory in the Stars of Tomorrow race.
He certainly does, on board the Coolman Logistics Kawasaki ZX10R. Everybody tip your hats to Tim Griffith, who did a great job and left his best till last, as we said, defeating Conker Chorus in a narrow margin, with Mark Nassif and Jean Gabriel Lane battling it out for the third placing.
And confirmation for the other riders there. Jean-Gabriel Lane in 4th, Jeremy Mears on his R1 in 5th, Christian Carroll, John Howie, Aaron Breeze on his Aprilia, Hamish Murray finishing 9th, and rounding out the top 10, James Fruin on his CBR 1000 RR Honda.
I'm knackered after that. I only started racing last year, so pretty good to come away with the win today. We're going to Queensland in July or August, and we're going to come back here in the end of the year as well, so hopefully continue all the way to the end of the year.
Yeah, like last lap I was looking on the other side, wrong side. He tricked me, came from the inside. All his, yeah. But no, awesome. I really enjoyed it, and we had a really good last lap run. Yeah.